All right, here it is, a true 5-minute post-cycling recovery session. The last time it went like 15 minutes long, so just 5 minutes here. All you need is a foam roller. We're gonna start off in a tabletop position over top of that foam roller. You're gonna use the front of your legs to hold it in place, and then bring your forearms down to the ground. Once you've got this set up, lift the feet. Try to keep the legs as heavy as you can, and just try to scoot yourself forward and backwards over that roller. And you're gonna move a little slower than you want to, and try not to avoid or move away from those spots that are giving you a big reaction. So if you're feeling a lot of sensitivity in a part of your muscle, rather than moving to where it's not so sensitive, see if you can slow down and maybe even stop the movement altogether and just take a couple deep breaths. If you're not feeling any one spot that's kind of shouting or talking really loud to you, then just keep moving around. And you're gonna try a couple where all 10 toes point to the left. And you're gonna try a couple where all 10 toes point to the right. And then you're gonna come back to center, and you're gonna pause at the top portion of your quad, so closer to your hip flexor than toward your knee. Bend your knees, and then just start to windshield wiper the feet from side to side. I want you to keep those lower legs as lazy as possible, so we're not flexing and pushing them side to side, we're just kind of letting them drop. Starting to feel a little massage roll over the top of that quad muscle, close toward the hip flexor. And then you're gonna start to scoot forward. So we're close to our hip flexors right now, and as we scoot forward, we should be getting a little closer toward our knee. We'll stop in the center, take a couple rocks there. And then scoot forward a little closer toward the knee. And you can keep moving as many times forward and backwards as you want to on this. I'm gonna work my way back up toward my hip flexors now, moving just a little quicker. And then pick one side. So I'm gonna keep both feet to the right first, and then I'm gonna roll on that right, oh gosh, the top of that right quad, very close to that hip flexor. Notice what you're doing with your upper body to try to compensate or take some of that feeling away. See if you can lift your chest up, hold yourself up with some good posture here. Relax the jaw, unclench the hands. And then rock the feet to the other side. So now mine are going to the left, and I'm gonna get a little bit more focus on that left top of the quad, left hip flexor. Ooh, all right, let's bring the knees down to the ground. One last thing to finish up. We're gonna work on internal and external hip rotation when you're on your bike, whether you're in a gym, on a stationary bike, or taking a cycling class, or on the road, it doesn't matter. It's that same motion over and over again. It only comes up and goes down. There shouldn't be any movement, but we still need our hips to be able to do that. So we're gonna sit in what I call a 90-90 position. You're gonna keep your left knee bent in front of you, right leg bent behind you. What am I doing on time here? Okay, less than a minute, we've got this. So instead of letting your ribs shift over toward that front knee, I want you to stack your shoulders over your ribs, right over top of your hips, and then try to put a little pressure down or a little weight down into the sit bone of the leg in back. So my right leg is in back, it's gonna look like your left. My right sit bone is trying to press into that floor, and I get an internal hip rotation stretch on this side. So that right leg is internally rotated, and it feels like a stretch to the front of that hip joint. I'm using my opposite hand to help keep me propped up, because the second I get a chance to relax, my ribs are gonna shift over and try to make this easier. 2 more breaths. Keeping the legs stacked the same way, shoulders facing forward. Just start to lean your chest down over that front leg. Find your forearms if that feels okay. Gosh, I'm over time. It always goes over. It's all right, we'll be under 6 minutes. Great, and then slowly walk yourself back up. We'll change that position. So now that back leg is gonna come in front. Your front leg's gonna circle in back. I've got two 90-degree angles. It feels a lot nicer to shift over, but I'm really gonna try to keep myself stacked. One long line from my tailbone up through the crown of my head. Shoulders over ribs, over hips. And then that back hip, my left hip right now. As I try to push that left sit bone toward the ground, I feel that internal hip rotation stretch on that left side. Back with another video that keeps us in this position for a little longer. But for today, I do want to keep this a little short and concise, so we've got no excuses not to do it. And take 2 more breaths here, really settling into that left hip. And then take your chest forward over that front shin, just creasing at the hip, starting to feel that external hip rotation in the front leg. And then walk yourself all the way back in. You are finished. I might have made it to 7 minutes, I'm not sure, but pretty concise for me. So fill this in after your cycling workouts. All you need is a foam roller and some space for that 90-90 position. Easy way to make sure that your quads and your hip flexors get a little bit of love after those cycling workouts. So I will see you guys for the next one.